Have you ever woken up, swung your legs out of bed, and felt that all too familiar crunch in your knees? That deep, grinding ache that seems to set the tone for the entire day. You might stretch, you might take a warm shower, but the stiffness lingers, turning simple tasks like walking down the stairs into a careful, calculated process. You tell yourself, well, this is just part of getting older, but what if I told you it might not be? What if that nagging joint pain, that inflammation that makes your fingers swell and your hips ache, isn't just about age, but is being actively triggered by something you're eating every single day, something you believe is perfectly healthy? Imagine for a moment waking up next week feeling lighter. Imagine standing up from your favorite chair without that groan and walking to the kitchen with a spring in your step you thought you'd lost years ago. That future is not only possible, it's closer than you think. And it starts by understanding a hidden culprit lurking in your fruit bowl. My name is Dr. William Lee, and for decades I've studied how the foods we eat can either fuel disease or build a fortress of health within our bodies. And one of the most common mistakes I see people over 60 make is choosing the wrong foods, even with the best intentions. It's not your fault. We're told our whole lives to eat more fruit, but nobody tells us that for an aging body, not all fruits are created equal. In fact, one particular fruit enjoyed by millions every day could be secretly fanning the flames of inflammation in your joints. In this video, we are going to pull back the curtain on this surprising trigger. We will uncover exactly why this fruit and a few of its cousins might be the source of your pain. And most importantly, I'll show you the delicious, powerful fruits you can eat instead to calm that inflammation, soothe your joints, and help you reclaim your mobility. Growing older doesn't mean giving up. It means using smarter strategies to work with your body, not against it. Before we dive in and reveal this fruit, I'm genuinely curious to know where our community is from. Are you watching from the United States, from the UK, from Australia, or somewhere else in the world? Let me know in the comments below. It's always so inspiring to see how far this message of health and empowerment is reaching. And if you believe that your health in your golden years is your greatest asset, take a moment to subscribe to our channel. We share the kind of in-depth, science-backed advice that can truly make a difference in your daily life, information you might not hear anywhere else. All right, let's get to the heart of the matter. The fruit I'm talking about, the one that might be contributing to your aches and pains, is grapes. Yes, grapes. I can almost hear you thinking, grapes, but Dr. Lee, they're natural, they're full of antioxidants, they're supposed to be good for me. And you're not wrong in theory, but here is the crucial piece of the puzzle that often gets missed, especially for those of us over the age of 60. The problem with grapes isn't what they contain. It's the form and concentration of their sugar. Grapes are incredibly high in fructose, a type of sugar that your body processes very differently than glucose. When you were younger, your body could handle a big influx of fructose without much trouble. Your metabolism was a roaring furnace, but as we age, that furnace becomes more like a slow burning ember. It's more sensitive, and it can't burn through fuel the same way. When you eat a large handful of grapes, you're sending a massive wave of fructose directly to your liver. Your liver is your body's main processing plant, and it can only handle so much fructose at once. When it gets overwhelmed, it has to do something with the excess. So it starts a process that converts that fructose into other things, one of which is uric acid. Now, you might have heard of uric acid in the context of gout, a painful form of arthritis that often affects the big toe. But what the research is showing us now is that even slightly elevated levels of uric acid, not just the high levels that cause gout, can promote low-grade systemic inflammation throughout your entire body. Think of uric acid as tiny, sharp crystals. When these crystals circulate in your bloodstream, they can settle in your joints, in your knees, your hips, your knuckles, and act like microscopic shards of glass. They irritate the delicate lining of your joints, the synovium, triggering an inflammatory response. Your body's immune system sees these crystals as foreign invaders and sends out inflammatory cells to attack them. The result is pain, swelling, and stiffness. It's like a silent battle being waged inside your joints, and that seemingly innocent bowl of grapes is supplying the ammunition. But it doesn't stop there. This fructose overload triggers another damaging process, something scientists call the formation of advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. That's a very fitting acronym, isn't it? These AGEs are harmful compounds that form when sugar molecules, like fructose, attach themselves to proteins or fats in your body in a process that's very similar to caramelization. Imagine the collagen and elastin in your body, the proteins that make your skin supple and your cartilage and tendons flexible and rubbery. Now, imagine sugar molecules sticking to these proteins, making them stiff, brittle, and brown, just like sugar turning into caramel in a hot pan. This is what AGs do. They effectively caramelize your joint tissues. That flexible, cushiony cartilage in your knee that's supposed to absorb shock becomes stiff and weak. The tendons and ligaments that support your joints lose their elasticity. This makes you more prone to injury, and it accelerates the wear and tear process of osteoarthritis. So, every time you're eating a high fructose fruit like grapes, you could be contributing to the very stiffening and breakdown of the tissues you rely on for every single movement. Many people tell me they feel a heaviness in their legs, a kind of sluggish, achy feeling after a sweet snack. They chalk it up to fatigue, but it might not be a coincidence. That feeling can be your body reacting to the inflammatory cascade set off by that sugar rush. It's a quiet signal that's easy to ignore, but it's one we need to start listening to. You don't have to eliminate grapes from your life forever, but if you suffer from joint pain, consider them a treat, not a daily staple. Limit yourself to a very small handful, maybe a half a cup, and see how you feel. The power is in becoming your own health detective. Now, grapes are the main culprit I wanted to highlight today because they are so common, but they have a few partners in crime that are just as problematic, if not more so. Let's move on to the next one, which is particularly popular in tropical climates and smoothies. Mangoes. Just like grapes, mangoes are a sugar powerhouse. They have a very high glycemic index, which means their sugar is absorbed into your bloodstream incredibly quickly. This causes a dramatic spike in your blood sugar, which then forces your pancreas to work overtime, pumping out a flood of insulin to manage it. This constant cycle of sugar spikes and insulin surges is a major driver of systemic inflammation. Think of inflammation as a fire inside your body. Every time you have a massive sugar spike, it's like pouring gasoline on that fire. For someone with arthritis, this can mean the difference between a good day with manageable discomfort and a bad day with debilitating pain. That beautiful, sweet mango smoothie you think is a healthy start to your day might be setting you up for an afternoon of agony. And this brings us to what might be the worst offenders of all. Dried fruits. I'm talking about raisins, dates, dried apricots, and figs. These are often marketed as healthy snacks, perfect for a quick energy boost. But let's be very clear about what dried fruit is. It's fruit that has had all the water removed, which means the sugar is incredibly concentrated. Let's take raisins, for example. Raisins are just dried grapes. Eating a small box of raisins is nutritionally equivalent to eating a massive bunch of grapes, something you would probably never do in one sitting. You're consuming an enormous amount of fructose in a very small package, without the water content that would normally help you feel full. It's a sugar bomb. Many people with pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes are very careful about avoiding cake and cookies, but they'll happily snack on a bag of dried dates, not realizing it's having a very similar or even worse effect on their blood sugar and inflammation levels. If joint pain is your primary concern, I would strongly advise you to minimize or completely avoid dried fruits. They are simply too concentrated in the very sugar that fuels the inflammatory fire. I know hearing all of this might feel a bit discouraging, especially if these are foods you love and have been eating for years. But please, remember that knowledge is power. It's not about guilt or regret. It's about understanding. Now that you know, you can make different choices. And if you're finding this information valuable and eye-opening, could you do me a small favor and tap the like button? When you do that, it tells YouTube that this is important content, and it helps get this video out to other seniors who might be suffering in silence, completely unaware that their fruit bowl could be part of the problem. Your simple click can genuinely help someone else feel better. So, now that we've talked about what to limit, let's pivot to the most exciting part. What should you be eating instead? What are the fruits that actually fight inflammation and support your joints? This is where food truly becomes medicine. The number one group of fruits I recommend to all my patients dealing with inflammatory conditions is berries. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, you name it. Berries are a true superfood for aging bodies. Why? Because they are low in sugar and packed with powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds called anthocyanins. These are the natural pigments that give berries their rich red, blue, and purple colors. Think of anthocyanins as your body's internal fire department. They go around the body and actively put out the flames of inflammation. One study published in the journal Arthritis and Rheumatology found that women who ate at least 2 servings of strawberries per week had a 14% lower risk of having elevated inflammatory markers in their blood, like C-reactive protein. That's a significant reduction, achieved just by eating a delicious fruit. These compounds work by blocking the same inflammatory pathways in the body that drugs like ibuprofen do, but without the side effects. They help to neutralize those damaging free radicals that contribute to the breakdown of cartilage and other tissues. So, swapping your daily bowl of grapes for a bowl of mixed berries could be one of the most powerful and simple changes you make for your joint health. They are wonderful in a morning yogurt, blended into a low-sugar smoothie, or just eaten by the handful as a refreshing snack. Next on our list of joint-friendly heroes is a fruit that has some truly remarkable science-backed benefits: cherries, and specifically tart cherries. Tart cherries are one of nature's most potent anti-inflammatory foods. They contain a unique concentration of those same anthocyanins we found in berries, but some studies suggest they may be even more effective for pain relief. There's been fascinating research on athletes showing that drinking tart cherry juice can significantly reduce muscle soreness and inflammation after intense exercise. But what's really exciting is the research on people with arthritis. A study from the Boston University School of Medicine found that cherry intake was associated with a 35% lower risk of gout attacks. Another study showed that participants with osteoarthritis who drank tart cherry juice twice a day for 3 weeks saw a significant reduction in pain and stiffness. The compounds in cherries appear to work by lowering levels of uric acid, the very substance that we talked about being produced from the fructose in grapes, and by calming the overall inflammatory response. You can enjoy fresh cherries when they are in season, or use frozen cherries in smoothies. Unsweetened tart cherry juice is also an excellent option. Just be sure to check the label and make sure there's no added sugar. Finally, I want to talk about a fruit that is unique in its composition and incredibly beneficial for your joints. The avocado. Yes, the avocado is technically a large berry. Unlike most other fruits, it is very low in sugar and rich in healthy monounsaturated fats. These healthy fats are crucial for your joint health. Think of them as a lubricant for your body. They help to keep your joints moving smoothly. Furthermore, avocados contain a unique compound called avocatin B, which has been shown in lab studies to have potent anti-inflammatory effects. They are also an excellent source of vitamin E, an antioxidant that helps protect your body's cells from damage, and potassium, which helps regulate fluid balance and can reduce water retention and swelling. Adding half an avocado to your daily salad or mashing it on a piece of whole grain toast is a fantastic way to nourish your joints from the inside out. It provides the healthy fats your body needs to build strong cell membranes and calm inflammation, all without the damaging sugar spike. So, let's just quickly recap what we've learned. It's about making smart swaps. We want to limit or avoid high fructose, high glycemic fruits like grapes, mangoes, and especially concentrated dried fruits, as they can trigger the production of uric acid and those damaging AGEs that stiffen our joints. Instead, we want to embrace the anti-inflammatory powerhouses, the antioxidant-rich berries, the pain-relieving tart cherries, and the healthy fat-packed avocados. This isn't about a diet of deprivation. It's about a delicious upgrade. It's about choosing the foods that love your body back. As we come to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. I know that living with chronic pain can be deeply frustrating. It can feel like your body has betrayed you. It can steal your joy, your hobbies, and your sense of independence. But please hear me when I say this. Your body is not your enemy. It is a remarkable, resilient system that is always striving for health. Our job is simply to give it the right tools and get out of its way. The choices you make at the dinner table, the small swaps you make in your grocery cart, they are not just small things. They are powerful messages of healing that you send to every cell in your body. Growing older is inevitable, but growing weaker and living in pain is not a belief. You have so much more control than you've been led to believe. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of the fruits we talked about today surprised you the most? Was it the grapes? Or maybe you've had your own experience with certain foods making your joint pain better or worse. Please share your story in the comments section below. I try to read as many as I can, and your experience could be the one thing that inspires another person in our community to make a positive change. We truly do learn and grow stronger together. If this video has helped you understand your body better, please give it a thumbs up. It means the world to me, and it helps this message reach more people who need to hear it. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that little notification bell. We have so much more to share with you on how to thrive in your golden years, and I don't want you to miss a thing. Before you go, if you are still with me and you are committed to taking control of your joint health, just type the number 1 inch, the comments. It's a simple declaration to yourself and to this community that you are ready to make a change. Your health and your independence are worth fighting for. Thank you for spending this time with me. Stay strong, stay curious, and remember that every healthy choice is a step toward a more vibrant, pain-free life.